A phone call shatters the routine of a quiet Roman morning. The person who answers is Professor Franco Trito, Aldo Moro's assistant. The caller gives a brief, chilling instruction. Via Caetani, there's a red Renault 4. It is May 9th, 1978. When the police arrive and open the car's trunk, they are faced with a horrifying truth. The lifeless body of Aldo Moro, wrapped in a blanket. 55 days of hope, anguish, and division, and here, between the headquarters of the Christian Democrats and those of the Italian Communist Party, the two political worlds Moro had sought to unite. For 55 days, Italy stood suspended. The Red Brigades had imprisoned Aldo Moro in a small apartment at 8 Via Montalcini in Rome, transformed into what they called the People's Prison. There he wrote around 86 letters to his family, friends, party colleagues, and even to Pope Paul VI. He pleaded for negotiation, for a gesture of humanity. His writings reveal the clarity of the statesman and the torment of a man who watched the values he had defended begin to crumble. Fully aware of his fate, he faced it with tragic dignity, insisting until the end that reason and humanity prevail over the logic of violence. Through typed communiques stamped with their five-pointed star, the Red Brigades demanded the release of political prisoners in exchange for Moro's life. The government, led by Giulio Andreotti, adopted what became known as the line of firmness. No negotiation with terrorists. The Christian Democrats, the Communist Party, and most of public opinion supported this stance. Yet deep divisions emerged between those who wanted to save a man's life and those who feared that a concession would undermine the rule of law. The Church, through Pope Paul VI, attempted a moral mediation, offering everything so long as his life may be saved. But even that appeal went unanswered. Meanwhile, Rome became a city under siege. Newspapers published every new communique, and people gathered in silence before the newsstands. Police and carabinieri carried out searches and set up checkpoints throughout the capital. Still, the apartment on Via Montalcini, where Moro was held, remained undiscovered. Each false lead led to another failure. Inside that room, Moro was interrogated by his captors about politics, international alliances, and relations among the parties. The Red Brigades wanted to stage a symbolic trial against the Italian state. Moro answered with clarity and composure, but his fate was already sealed. In the final weeks of his captivity, investigators intensified their searches across Rome, convinced that Moro was still alive and hidden somewhere in the city. Their efforts multiplied, yet every lead turned into a dead end, feeding frustration and despair among the investigators. The hideout on Via Montalcini remained invisible, shielded by the anonymity of a quiet neighborhood and the organizational precision of the Red Brigades. The ninth and final communique, dated May 5th, announced the death sentence of the prisoner of the people. 4 days later, Moro's body was found. The nation stopped in silence. It was not just the death of a politician, but the end of an illusion. The illusion that violence could bend democracy or save it. 55 days of captivity, letters, failed negotiations, political and moral divisions. The kidnapping of Aldo Moro remains an open wound in Italian history, a story that, even today, forces a nation to question what it means to be a state governed by law in the face of the threat of violence.